Good morning. Today we are going to study History, Class 10th, Chapter number 1, Events and Processes. This chapter starts with the rise of nationalism in Europe. Now, when we are talking about this, and when we open chapter number 1, we see that a photograph, a picture is there. This picture is made by Frederick Sorre in 1848, named as Democratic and Social Republic. Now, what basically, if you identify and look at the picture very efficiently and very clearly, you will find that one statue is there of a female holding one torch in left hand and a book in her right hand. Now, when we are talking about who she is, then we understand that as per the explanation given, she is a female allegory which, which explains that now every nation will come. The torch that is there is a torch of enlightenment. The book that is in her hand is Charter of Rights of Man. Now, what this particular picture as a whole depicts us or shows us, if you look at the photograph, you will find on the left side of the statue, you find flag and some people there. You will find on the right side that there are some more flags and the people, those who are coming continuously, the people are wearing some of their traditional dresses. Now, not only that, you will find some of the signs or the equipment that we can see that depict the monarchy are there. Then we also look on the top side of the photo, we find it out that there are many saint angels and all of them, even the Christ is there, a lion is there, all these things are there. Now, what this particular picture depicts, and you will find it out a very long queue of people, those who are coming. Now, in this particular, Frederick Sorrow, he is having a vision about the what the world will be in future because of what he had seen in the past. As per this, we find it out that few nations like United States of America and Switzerland, both of them, they passed this particular statue of liberty, which is holding a torch of enlightenment in one hand, and in other she is having charter of rights of man. Now, as per this particular figure, we find it out that the procession is led by United States and Switzerland, and France is just in front of that particular statue. Germany, Austria, Kingdom of Two Sicilies, Lombardy, Poland, England, Ireland, Hungary, and so on, Russia, and rest of the nations that are there that are following. Now, one particular thing that we can question is that in 1848, Germany was divided into many fragmented small states. They were not one nation state, but then also because what the Frederick Sorrow was thinking about, that the democracy and social rights that the people are now having in France, that will expand all over Europe, and everybody will find that these are one of the most important thing, because of which every nation will now rise to a nation state in place of being a small fragmented control nation controlled by few people. If you remember in class 9, we already studied how nationalism emerges in Europe after French Revolution, that the Bastille uh, fort was destroyed by the French people in 1789, and after that everything happened in France. Even we remember, it is a proverb that is said all over Europe, that if France sneezes, rest of the Europe catches cold. Because of that also Frederick Sorel thought, and he was very right in his thought, that in future all these nations are going to be one nation, like Germany, fragmented part of German speaking people, they will become one nation, and so on. Rest of the nations will emerge. Now, it is only because of French Revolution that happened in 1789, because of which nationalism emerges in Europe, and because of this nationalism, a force which changes the political and mental world of Europe, which helped in emergence of nation state. This is what this particular picture explains about. You can go by the book. What it states, that in 1848, Frederick Sorrow, a French artist, prepared a series of four prints visualizing his dream of world made up of democratic and social republic, as he called them. The first print, or figure 1, of the series shows the people of Europe and America, men and women of all ages and social classes, marching in long train and offering homage to the Statue of Liberty. As they pass by it, as you would recall, artists of the time of the French Revolution personified liberty as a female figure. Here you can recognize the torch of enlightenment, CBS in one hand, and the Charter of Rights of Man in other. On the earth, in the foreground of the image, lie the shattered remains of the symbols of absolute institutions. In Surrey's utopian vision, the people of the world are grouped as distinct nations, identified through flags and national costume, leading the procession way past the Statue of Liberty and the United States and Switzerland, which by this time were already nation state. France, identifiable by the revolutionary tricolor, has just reached the statue. She is followed by people of Germany bearing the black, red, and gold flag. Interestingly, at the time when Soro created this image, the Germany people did not yet exist as a one nation or united nation. The flag they carry is an expression of liberal hopes in 1848 to unify the numerous German speaking principalities into a nation state under a democratic constitution. Following the German people are the peoples of Austria, the Kingdom of Two Sicilies, Lombardy, Poland, England, Ireland, Hungary, and Russia. From the heavens above, Christ, saints, and angels gaze upon the same. They have been used by the artist to symbolize fraternity among the nations of the world. The chapter will deal with many of the issues visualized by Cyril in Figure 1. During the 19th century, nationalism emerged as a force which brought about sweeping changes in the political and mental world of Europe. The end result of these changes was the emergence of the nation state in place of the multinational dynastic empires of Europe. The concept of practices of a modern state in which a centralized power exercised sovereign control over a clearly defined territory had been developing over a long period of time in Europe. But a nation state was one in which the majority of its citizens, and not only in its rulers, came to develop a sense of common identity and shared historical or decent. This commonness did not exist from time immemorial. It was forged through struggles, through the actions of leaders and the common people. This chapter will look at the diverse process through which nation state and nationalism came into being in 19th century Europe. Now let's short note of this particular part. You can note it down from the screen. First one is 1848. Frederic Seurat, a French artist, prepared a series of four prints visualizing his dream of world made up of democratic and social republic, as he called them. Artists of the time of the French Revolution personified liberty as a female figure. According to Seurat's utopian vision, the people of the world are grouped as distinct nations identified through their flag and national costume. Fourth, this chapter will deal with many of the issues visualized by the stories by the sorry during the 19th century. Nationalism emerged as a force which brought about sweeping changes in the political and mental world of Europe. The end result of these changes was the emergence of the nation state in the place of multinational dynastic empire of Europe, a modern state in which a centralized power exercised sovereign control over a clearly defined territory had been developing over a long period of time in Europe, but a nation state was one in which the majority of its citizens, and not only its rulers, came to develop a sense of common identity and shared history or descent. And the last one, this chapter will look at the diverse process through which nation state and nationalism came into being in 19th century Europe. We will discuss the next part, the French Revolution and the idea of the nation, in the next class. Thank you, all of you. Thank you.